Great. Next up is Dave Michelson, my coworker at UNC Asheville's NEMAC. Dave is our senior software designer and is a renowned open source evangelist. So he's going to talk about a pretty cool way you can deal with apps without using a server.
So, of course, being an open source advocate, I had to disrupt everybody and bring a proprietary Apple up here and have to change everything out. But anyway, so what Greg talked about right now is this scenario, okay, where you have the need to create a customized app on ArcGIS Online. Now, once you customize an app on ArcGIS Online, you can no longer upload that, so you have to find a place to host it. But that can be a problem to most people, right? Most people don't have access to servers, and if you do, that means a call to IT, which means months of waiting, and then maybe you'll have a server. Second, there's a scenario where you have no budget to do this. So even if you wanted to go to Amazon or one of the other paid services, you might not be able to do that. I'm going to make a couple of assumptions too. These assumptions are, one, that you have an account or you have the ability to create an account on GitHub or ArcGIS Online. And in both cases, these logons that I'm going to use today are free, so you could do this too, completely at no cost. So to jump right into it, also, if you look at this URL I have up here, this is available to anyone after the conference now. If you write this down and go to this website, it's really a GitHub markdown page, and it'll have all the directions on how you could do this too. So you don't really have to follow along with me, and I wouldn't suggest, because I'm going to try to go fast because I only have 10 minutes, and I'm going to actually try to launch this in here. All right, get started. So just like any good cooking show, I've stuck some cookies into the oven, and I'm going to bake it. So what I pre-baked was an ArcGIS Online map. And the reason I did that is because there's no way in 10 minutes that I would be able to create this map for you. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to save it and come back here and do my copy paste so that I don't do a spelling mistake or a typo in a live demo, which I'll probably do anyway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this map so that it's in my free account. And I could have searched for this account. So this map is actually available to everybody, hosted from NEMAC's account, and you could do this when you're back at your office. The second thing, and very important part, is in order for GitHub to be able to see this, this is going to be our publishing engine, is going to be GitHub. What we're going to have to do is, it's going to be down there, we have to make it shared to everybody. That gives it the access so that we don't have to worry about some kind of proxy or anything confusing like that. It's basically just take this app and take this map and share it with everyone. It's pretty easy. So now we have a map in my content, hopefully, and we'll refresh it again. And with a live demo, you can expect it to take a couple minutes, probably. Hopefully it'll show up. There we go. Right, so second step, now we have a map available, and this is what we want to do is create an app. So I'll use a template. Now, of course, you can use any of these templates in ArcGIS Online, but let's say you were looking at this app and you put it out with users and doing something that everyone should do, which is do a usability test, and you find usability problems. And the usability problems aren't something you can change in anything but code. So the only way to do that would be to download it and take it and put it onto a server. So I'm going to download it. So in this case, this template, which is very useful for me, takes me directly to GitHub. So I have an account with GitHub. It's free. You can log in, get your own account, and you can do something real magical here, and we'll fork it. So what forking does is it copies the whole repository. We'll put it in my repository, if you can tell that's me. So in the magic of the internet and cloud servers, this is all happening without me logging on to a server. And we got it. And the next thing we're going to do is go into the settings, because that title is generic, and we're going to rename it. So now I have all the code copied to a repository that's owned by me, and I have access to do all kinds of nifty things with it. I renamed it to WNC Fires 2016, and what we're going to do is, this is where the real magic happens. And we are going to come down to this section here, which is called GitHub Pages. So GitHub has allowed anything that's HTML, JavaScript, or basically anything that's non-dynamic and static, the ability to host it as a web page. And when I came down here and changed it to the source to master page and hit save, GitHub will attempt to build this as a web page with a nice little URL right here. I'll hit refresh. When that background turns green, it's available. So GitHub has posted it, and now I have a working application as long as everything works right. So comes up, right? So next part, I need to come back and I'm going to start to configure this page. Come into my GitHub account and I'm going to edit directly online. I'm going to go to the configuration and edit. We'll drop the GitHub pages there. I'm going to rename it from Summary Viewer again to WNC Fires 2016. And so I don't make typos, this field. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up what fields this is going to pull because I want to show the number of fires and the acres burned. And I know that's acres. And one last change I'm going to make is I'm going to change it to not cluster it because I want it to show each individual points. And I'm going to commit the changes. So that saved it. So now I'm going to go back into GitHub and I'm just going to do a hard reload. And this will ensure that hopefully it takes that, and it could take a little bit of time for GitHub again to catch this. So hopefully it won't take too long and it'll find it. So it did. Awesome. So now I have my map. I have it titled. And still, I've not engaged in any servers. I haven't had to call IT yet. So next part, let's say this is where the real magic happens. You did the usability test, right? You found out that, hey, all the users started coming back after the usability, so I don't know what count means. What's some acres? I thought this was about fires. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig into the JavaScript. I'm going to go into main. This is where everything can go bad, right? I'm going to try to code live on a presentation. So I know about the line is about 330 where I need to make this little change. So I have count, and I'm going to call this total fires. And then with sum, I'm going to be total acres burned. Right? And I'm going to remove the reference to the field. And I'm going to update the message for my commit. Awesome. So next part is I'm going to reload this again with a hard reload that drops my cache, and hopefully my changes got accepted and GitHub won't delay it, or we'll sit here and do it over and over again until it comes back. And we see that, indeed, it took my changes. So I've customized ArcMap, and normally when you customize this ArcGIS Online app, you would have to find your own server. So still, I've not touched a server, right? All I've done is gone on GitHub. Very easy. I think anyone in here could do this, right? So the last thing that you might want to do, and I'm going to do some copy and pasting again so I don't make mistakes, is let's say you wanted to make this appear to be a part of your website. Well, this is the part where you might have caught me, right? Here, you might have to call IT. In fact, if you don't already have a domain name, you might have to buy one. But for the most part, you probably already have a domain name. So what I'm doing is actually giving it a CNAME. That CNAME is an alternative to your site. So now it's going to appear as a NEMAC website. So I'm going to hit create and let the DNS do its magic, but I have to come back and change one more setting, and let me copy and paste again. And that probably did not copy it. And what I'm going to do is in the settings of GitHub, I have to tell GitHub that I'm going to CNAME it. And this is all I have to do is come down to that GitHub pages again, come down to the custom domain, and hit WNC Fires, just enter in that whole URL. When I come back to my repository, what it did was create a little text file called CNAME with that same information in there, right? And now GitHub knows to redirect it. But I have to do one more change in code in order to get this to work, because there's some hard coding in the index.html. If we come down a little bit in here, we'll find that hard code. And now with that in there, I'll hit commit my changes, and hopefully we'll come in here, we'll see a big green background, not quite yet. Oh, I took it out. Yeah. So now it's saying that everything's good, it can find it, and if I didn't take it out, we'll come back and we'll fix it. Now when I refresh, it should go to wildfires.nemac.org as long as it picked up my change, and we have a fully customized website in under 10 minutes with domain name. So that's it. Oh, one last thing. Boom, right? Mind blown. But thank you.